So let's ask both of you, what do you think about this piece is calls out for staging?
Oh, well, I really think so. I really think that Julian wrote some really fun and very interesting interludes. And I felt that there was a need for interaction between the characters during these fun interludes. And I think there's also some scenes that are just beyond goofy. And I hope to take that to the next level with just a small bit of staging.
When the Harvard Musical Association commissioned Julian to write this piece, it was the original intent was just to be a chamber work. As it evolved, and a shorter chamber work than what we received as well. And as Julian worked on the piece, it sort of evolved into more of a chamber opera, which begs for staging. And also with different, each of the four singers playing multiple characters throughout this whole saga, I think it really lends itself to some sort of staging, props maybe pulled out from a trunk or some way to bring the tale to life. And I think also the sort of the whimsical folk story, folktale nature of it can only be enhanced by some lighthearted treatment.
Without giving anything away, no spoilers here. So the piece has kind of a quote surprise unquote moral. So what do either one of you feel is appealing, accessible, or relevant about this piece for today's audiences?
I think in such a dark time in our history, this moral that is going to be really exciting for everybody is exactly what we all need right now. At the end of the day, there's no expectation. We're not taking any burdens home with us, nothing heavy to think about. And I think that's really, it's a reminder that life doesn't really need to be all that serious. And that's exactly what I think we all need right now.
I would agree, and I think it's just pure entertainment. And at the same time, musically, it's incredibly complex and poignant and challenging. And I think that's one of the beauties of this piece is that Julian finds a way to challenge the musicians, yet the end result is something lighthearted and playful.
It's very accessible in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of accessible, how is this for kids?
I think it's great. Actually, it is a kid's fairy tale. I have a girlfriend of mine whose grandmother, so she's Russian, and her grandmother told her this story as a kid. And I was telling her about Saul, and she's like, oh yeah, I totally know that story. I know everything about it. So it is for kids. I think that kids will grab from it what they will. It's like Finding Nemo, or it's like going to watching a Disney or a Pixar film where it's for kids, but is it for kids? It's really for adults. We're really understanding most of it. So I think that adults will probably enjoy it more, but kids are going to love it. And I think it's important also that kids are more frequently exposed to this type of repertoire, modern composition. It really, I think, can be great for developmental reasons. It's great for your brain. It makes you think in different ways that you never thought you could. It's not just your traditional classical concert.
Yeah, so Ryan, you have two kids. What do you think?
Oh, I definitely think so. And it has this, it's funny you bring up Disney because the part of it reminds me of Ratatouille. And there's there are these almost larger than life biblical stories that kind of are referenced in it. There's like the prodigal son, there's a prodigal son hints of. I think when I think about Disney, I feel like, oh my gosh, Disney must have heard this tale and drawn little portions from it. So yeah, I think it'd be great for kids.
Cool. There's something else. Oh, so you guys have done this piece before. And it's always great to revisit pieces, of course. And what are you both most looking forward to about this?
Well, first off, I'm really looking forward to doing it without a mask on. But and I'm really excited. I think there's so much that we can give in this performance. I think we did an excellent job with our parameters back in the spring. I think we did an amazing job. considering we had these masks on and it was videoed and everything, I think we can now take it to the next level. Also, as you said, like revisiting something is so comfortable. We already know this piece. You have to know this piece in order to even convey the message at all. So now I think we can take it to that next level, and the audience is going to really love it. We can be more engaging, and we also don't have to worry about anything. We know it, so it's more fun for us now than anything.
Well, and I'll add to the familiarity, being able to revisit it, but also just that we're going to get to have a live audience. It's a funny piece, and what's going to be interesting to see what the reactions do in the moment to our performance and how we respond to the audience feedback that have been so deprived of for over a year. So to me, that's the most exciting thing.
Have there been any changes from the librettist to the folktale? Meaning, has there been any reinterpretation or adaptation for modern times that you know of, for instance?
The thing that stands out. Oh yeah, go ahead.
So I think quite a bit. I mean, it's based on the Russian folktale, but Julian, the composer, was also the librettist, and he edited liberally to, I think in his own words, to give it a 20th century vibe.
Yeah, the thing that truly stands out is the main character in the traditional folktale is a male. And he gives this person the identity of a female in Julian Grant's version of Salt, and I love that. I love that there is, he's bending gender roles, and he doesn't, we don't have to worry about three brothers and this old masculinity type of thing. It's actually really nice to have that change. So,
So Megan also asked Sarah if you had any siblings and whether your relationship to your siblings played into your staging or your interpretation in any way.
Oh, totally. I have
It's
two
a great
younger
question.
brothers. I have two younger brothers. I know what it's like to be the only girl. And and luckily they're younger than me, not older than me. So I have always been known to be the bossy one of the family, and to be able to express my opinions very strongly. So I do think that definitely influenced the way that I had people interacting in this. Like in the beginning, you'll see it's, we've got Basil and Benjamin, and then the girl, she's just over here hanging out. So I don't know. It did influence.
Great. Thanks, everybody.